Hi guys, I hope all of you are well and life is well and you are well and everyone is well. So today we are going to be talking about CLAT 2026 10-month strategy for you all for CLAT examination, and let us see how you can utilize the next 10 months to prepare for the CLAT examination and make sure that you have a great preparation. Let me just check that the class is working fine. Yes, so the class is working fine. Hi guys, good evening. Let us start the class. My name is Kriti Bhatnagar. I've done my BLLB from LI Bhopal, did my master's from GLE Gujarat, and we are going to be talking about the batch we have just launched, which is UDAAN Plus. So it is a complete CLAT and AILET batch. If any of you wish to prepare with us in a more structured manner, we have evening classes, and all your syllabus is completed through these evening classes so that your school does not get disturbed. And all your this batch will go on till CLAT and AILET. All your syllabus will be done in this batch, plus it shall be revised. If any of you wish to enroll in this course, you can use code Kriti B for additional discount on the course. You get daily classes by experts, you get physical books, mock tests delivered to your house, 40 offline mock tests. The tenure is till CLAT and AILET. All 5 sections will be thoroughly covered by all the 5 respective educators. Daily question solving you shall get, and practice papers, 90 plus mock tests, 3000 plus sectional tests, monthly current affair compendium, separate doubt sessions, Shakuntala scholarship. So if any of you get ranked till AIR 300, your whole fees shall be refunded back to you. I really hope you get AIR up to AIR 300 and make us proud. And you can call or WhatsApp on these numbers in case you require any assistance. And the classes are in the evening, and you also get time to self prepare so that you can practice the questions and understand whether you did understand the concept or not. Let us also see the CLAT 2025 results from 12 minutes to CLAT. So AIR 2 was with us, and also these are the results that have been there with us. So any of you wish to prepare, it would be great, and we can start the classes at the ease of your house. You can just come to the class. You don't have to go anywhere. Log into your computer, laptop, or your phone, and you can just attend the classes from the ease of your house. Alright guys, let us talk about how to prepare in the next 10 months in the best way possible for the CLAT examination. So what is the CLAT examination? Common Law Admission Test. It is an entrance exam to national law universities except NLU Delhi, because NLU Delhi has an exam of its own which is called as AILET. If you are someone who has just started the preparation, then make sure that you go to the CLAT consortium website to check every information given about UG courses. So if you look at the CLAT consortium website, if you scroll down below, there will be a column called as UG undergraduate programs. Click on that and read everything that is given about the question paper on that website. I will also discuss the same. So what is the pattern of the examination? First of all, it is essential that if we are preparing for a particular exam, we need to understand the exam. So the exam consists of 120 questions of 1 marks each. So the question paper is of 120 marks. The question paper is generally held between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. on the first or second Sunday of December. So when you are in 12th, at that time itself you would have given the CLAT examination of that year. जैसे कि in December, last December, the students who gave the exam will go to college in July, right? So you give the exam 6 months prior to your classes with your school itself when you are in 12th. If you don't, then you will be called as a dropper. Matlab, you would have a gap of a year between your 12th and going to college. There is a negative marking of 0.25 marks. There are 5 sections in the CLAT examination, which is English for 22 to 26 marks, current affairs 28 to 32 marks, legal 28 to 32 marks, logical 22 to 26 marks, and quants, which is between 10 to 14 marks. So these are the 5 sections that we have to prepare thoroughly for the CLAT 2026 as well as AILET examination. It's very similar AILET as well. It has less sections, but similar questions are there in AILET as well. Now, what is going to be your first step towards your preparation in the next 10 months? Step 1, make sure you visit the CLAT consortium website and you read everything about the UG programs. Second is going to be understanding the question paper. So if you are someone who has started the preparation but has not even once checked the CLAT previous year question paper, then I shall highly recommend you make sure you analyze your preparation. Even if it is nil right now, you analyze the question paper to understand how much would it require for you to study. See, all of us do know our potential, है ना? If truly you ask yourself, and you don't have to tell anybody else, you would be able to know whether you are an average person, you are a intelligent student according to you, or you are someone who would take time to grasp concepts, but you will get there. You know how much, like there are certain students who can grasp the same quantity of material in 2 hours that someone else was doing in 4 hours. So obviously we have to get there, and we also know where we are starting at. Are we starting at a place where we will take 4 hours to understand something? Okay? Because that will decide the pace of your preparation. If you are someone who feels will take some extra time to understand concepts, then your preparation has to be in that method, and we will discuss that as well. So for that, to analyze your position for the CLAT examination, make sure that you take the CLAT previous year question paper. You can pick up CLAT 2025, 24, 23, 22, any CLAT question paper based on the new pattern, passage based questions pattern. So in the CLAT exam, you get a passage, and on each passage you get 5 questions in all the 5 sections. Okay? The questions can be 5 to 6, 5 to 10, something like that. So let's assume we pick up the CLAT 2025 question paper. Okay? Let's assume that I am an aspirant. I am starting my preparation for CLAT 2026. So what is the first thing that I will do? CLAT consortium website I'll go and visit after this class, and I will read everything given about UG programs. Then second step that I will do is I'll pick up the CLAT 2025 question paper. Now once I pick the CLAT 2025 question paper, what am I going to be doing with it? So I will start reading the question paper to understand what is the level of the question paper. Let's assume I start with the English section, and while I am doing this, I will keep a separate paper, pen, copy with me to write down where I stand, how much I need to do further to understand concepts. So for example, if I look at the English question paper, I will read the first paragraph, and then I will try to attempt the questions given on the basis of that passage. Maybe I would get 2 answers. Current affairs. We have to prepare this year's current affair. So current affairs, we are at 0 right now. Okay? This year's current affair. So current affairs, we are at 0 right now. Okay? Now, on that paper that I have kept with myself, I will write down which section was the best for me and which section was the worst for me. For example, let's assume that I was okay at English, then maths I was able to solve something, then logical reasoning also I was able to do somewhat, and then legal reasoning also I understood a bit of it, and CA though I did nothing because I did not know anything, even the GK questions. So I have realized I am okay at English. Matlab English is something that does not require my immediate effort, but CA and GK will be something that requires my immediate effort. Now coming to the note making aspect. Now there are certain students who like to keep their notes in the laptop, or who like to keep their notes handwritten. This is something that has to be your personal preference, whether you wish to have a notebook in which you have handwritten your notes, or you want to save everything in your laptop. That is your call. You can take a call on it. I am someone who prefers handwritten notes. So for that, what I would do, I would have 5 separate copies for the 5 subjects. So I will have a legal reasoning copy, I will have a logical reasoning copy, and I will have a current affairs copy. Then I will have a English copy, and then lastly going to be my maths copy. First understanding that I have to get is that even though my maths may be weak, there are a lot of students like that. Maths is something that carries 10 to 14 marks, which is a lot. It can make or break your seat in a law school. So even if it is weak, don't think that way. Make sure you're preparing your math section quite well so that you're at least able to score 9 to 10. 9 to 10 चलो ठीक है 10 marks का है अगर, maybe 6 to 7 marks in math section, and that will give you an edge over all the other students. You can easily get into the top 100, right? So now there are two ways. One way could be you could prepare with someone in a structured manner. For example, as I told you, you can enroll in the 12minutes-to-CLAT.com course, which is UDAAN. We have recently started it for CLAT examination. In the UDAAN batch, you will get your books delivered to your house in the UDAAN Plus. So you don't need to worry about the notes. Plus, you will have classes to understand the concept with PDFs. So you can download that as well. You will not have to make anything. You will not have to work on anything. Only the practice part you can do in your copy for maths and English, or CA maybe you wish to make notes. So that is one way. You will have evening classes. Just come to the classes according to the timetable. For example, tomorrow I have a class at 4 p.m. You come at 4 p.m. 4 to 5 we'll study legal and you'll get the concept. Bas, aaj ka legal ho gaya. Then you may practice some 4 to 5 questions later. That is your call. Second method could be you are preparing by yourself. So that also you can do. Matlab, there is no harm in it. But then you will have to work upon your sources. A lot of times students try to study everything and anything. Don't do that. Have some short 2 sources, 2 to 3 sources maximum, and only study from that. Now coming to legal reasoning, your legal reasoning copy shall be divided in 5 parts, which is your tort law, which is your law of contracts, which is your law of crimes, which is going to be your constitutional law, and miscellaneous laws. Law of torts mein you can write down tort definition, then damnum sine injuria, injuria sine damnum, whatever through YouTube classes or whichever way you are studying, you can write that down in all the laws. Logical reasoning, for example, strengthening the argument, weakening the argument, what are the tricks that are applied, that would be taught. So you can write them down, and solving your some analytical reasoning questions. Current affairs, again, will be divided into 2 parts, current affairs and GK. In current affairs, again, it will be divided between your national news, economic news, sports news, awards. So that way you can write down. In pointers only, है ना? If something you read today, just write down in pointers, 1 or 2 pointers, so that you will be able to remember once you see that. English, again, some grammar rules, some grammatical rules, something like that, and mostly it will be practice. Same goes for maths. It will be practice in this particular copy. So this is how you are going to be bifurcating your notes. Now, certain things we will have to do daily, which is current affairs is something we'll do daily. Practice of weakest areas. So current affairs is my weakest. So I can go to gktoday.com and practice 5 questions of today's current affairs. And let's assume maths is your weakest. So maths is something you can practice daily, 1 passage based question, so that till the exam you would have practiced like 300 questions, which is a lot. Apart from that, every day make sure to make your to-do list. It is very, very important, है ना? What is a to-do list? In which you write down what are you going to do today. So maybe, for example, if you have classes, so you can write down attend legal reasoning class, then practice CA questions, and revise current affairs, something like that. So whatever you want to do on that day, you can write down in your to-do list. Something you have to do every 3 days, current affairs and legal reasoning revision. Revision has to be done every 3 days so that you remember what you're studying. And every week you can, so not every subject needs to be done daily, है ना? You can take 2 subjects on alternate days, and current affairs needs to be done daily. So current affairs plus English and maths can be done today, and tomorrow current affairs plus logical reasoning and legal reasoning can be done tomorrow for your self study. This is your self study. Apart from this, जो classes होंगी, that will be your class timetable, ठीक है? And make sure you are attempting mocks and giving mock test, because else you will not know whether you are improving or not, whether you are doing better or not, है ना? So make sure about that. Now Don't compare your preparation for the next 10 months with anybody else. This is something that affects most of the aspirants. Ma'am, that student is getting 110 in the mocks. Ma'am, that student is getting 115 in the mocks. My score is 75. Of course, I can't clear it. No mock test can decide how much you score in the CLAT exam. Your confidence in yourself, your preparation, your hard work, and your luck. These are the 4 things that decide whether you clear the exam or not. You have to have certain perseverance. You have to work hard for the examination. You have to work for yourself, on yourself. You have to be your own competition and not other students. Set your daily goals. Make sure you make your to-do list. Do not waste your time, because time is precious and it shall not come back. Quantity over quality. Do not prioritize quantity, that you're studying from 10 sources. You have asked this friend to send something, that friend to send something. 2-3 sources max. Study everything on it. Mock analysis. After every mock, you have to analyze your mocks, and if you get like tired or something, then you can apply the Pomodoro technique to study and individually take up your problems. If, for example, you are not doing well in maths, then you can maybe practice maths a little bit more. You will get better. Okay, don't worry, this is the start. It will get better. Talking about the 5 sections, so we have legal reasoning section, in which we have 5 subjects and current legal affairs and PYQ and MCQ. This is something we have to prepare in legal reasoning. 5 subjects will be torts, contract law, criminal law, constitutional law, and miscellaneous laws. Current legal affairs for the past 1 year, but only the most important things that has happened currently. Some important Supreme Court decisions, some law that has been made by Parliament, which is very much in news, which is very important. This shall be covered in CA only. Nothing separate we have to do. And PYQs and MCQ practice is a must for legal reasoning section. Now, how can you prepare? You can either, if you want, you can only take legal reasoning course as well. That is your call. So you can prepare through my classes, the whole legal reasoning syllabus, or you can visit websites, iBleeders, Academic, Mondac, Legal Services India. On these websites, different articles of different topics of law have been given. You can study them, or you can just Google the topics, search the topics on YouTube, and go through the classes. Apart from this, in current legal affairs, if you have time, if you want to work on your reading speed, because passage-based reading takes time, so you can just visit Live Law, Bar and Munch, SCC Online, any one of these 3 websites to read legal current affairs. And on these websites, you will find monthly compendiums of legal news that you can study in your spare time. Okay? For your current affairs, so how much current affairs do you have to prepare? Generally, they say 1 year. So November 2024 to November 2025. Mostly students start from January. So January 2025 to November 2025 could be a good 1 year to almost 1 year preparation. Again, for current affairs, can do through classes. Newspaper reading is a must. It may be possible that you don't make notes from newspaper every day. That is okay. But make sure you read the newspaper daily for 3 things: improving your knowledge, improving English, and improving reading speed. For these 3 things, newspaper reading in a time-bound manner. Set up a timer. I'll do it for an hour and study. Note making habit, if you wish, you can develop. Monthly compendiums you can prefer from Vision IS, Drishti IS, or if you enroll in the course, so you will get the compendium itself. And you can just, whatever topic is in news, you can Google those topics to read more about it to better your current affairs. For static GK, you can prefer questions by Lucent GK, Jagran Josh GK Today. You can even practice current affair question from this website. Every day you practice 5 questions, and again that will be a lot of questions at the end of your preparation. Now, logical reasoning, mostly the paper is critical reasoning based. 1 or 2 questions they can ask in analytical reasoning, seating arrangement, puzzles. In critical reasoning, these are the topics we have to cover: assumption, figures of speech, conclusion, strengthen, weaken, boldface, identify the main issue, course of action, paradox. Critical reasoning, make sure you're practicing as many questions as possible, because that will improve critical reasoning, because that is generally improved with time and with practice. Coming to English, again you can attend classes. For vocab, you can prefer this book, Word Power Made Easy. Wren and Martin can be preferred for grammar, and YouTube videos can be preferred to understand the concept of attempting passage-based questions. Again, critical reasoning and English are two subjects in which you require the maximum practice to make them better. There is no way to get better at English than practice. So practice comprehension based questions. There are different websites. For example, there's a website called GMAT Club wherein you get free passage based questions to practice for English section. You can practice through that. Every day practice 2 passage based questions to get better at English. Vocabulary, odd one out, idea of passage, figures of speech, and previous year paper practice can be done. Coming to maths, you could study these particular topics: algebra, time and work, problems on ages, number series, clocks, calendar, time, speed, number system, and any book for maths could be Quantitative Aptitude by R.S. Agrawal, Data Interpretation by BSc Publications, and you can practice through the PYQs. For any tricks in maths, there is a book called Magical Book. Again, if you come to the classes, then you will not require to be doing all of this. You can just study through the classes and make sure you're practicing enough questions. Now, very important is your mock test. Even if you don't study through classes, make sure you're enrolled in a mock test series so that you can see your preparation, how good you are doing, how you are performing in comparison to your peers. And don't wait for the syllabus completion. Within 2 weeks of your preparation, give your first mock. Maybe you might just score 10 marks out of 120, and I have seen toppers scoring 10 marks out of 120, but then they got AIR 10 in the CLAT examination. That can also happen. So don't worry about it. Make sure that you are practicing your mocks and analyzing your mocks. So every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. sit for the mock, 4:15 sit for the analysis. What questions you did wrong, why did you answer the way you answered, what was the answer of the examiner, why did you not think according to the thinking of the examiner. Apply that in the next mock. Write down your mistakes at one place and revise those mistakes before the next mock. You will see an improvement in the next mock. In the mock, if you score less marks in the 2 sections in which you score the lowest marks, make sure you practice 2 passage based questions of those 2 sections for the next mock. For example, you scored the lowest in CA and maths. So CA and maths now has to be practiced daily for the next 4 days, 5 days before your next mock, so that you get better in these two sections and your overall score improves. Make sure you have a daily routine. Just as I told you, a to-do list can be a great way to set up a routine. In the morning before school, you could give time to your newspaper. When you come from school, you can just sit for some practice questions or classes. Again, similarly, evening you can give 1 to 2 hours. For now, 2 to 4 hours would be enough. We'll increase the amount of hours with time. Make sure that our focus is reading, because the exam is passage based. So the more you read, the more you'll get better at the speed. Okay? Something that we have to realize is that if this exam was given to you without the timer, you would be able to clear the exam in a jiffy. You wouldn't even require anything. But it is the pressure of the time that makes you nervous, anxious, and you feel like, what if you don't complete the question paper? So the best way is improving our reading speed. And the only way to improve reading speed is by reading more and more. You have the leverage of more time with you. So make sure you're reading newspaper every day. Make sure that you're reading some legal articles maybe. This way, your reading shall improve. Okay? So something for the next 10 months, what is the inner gist? What is the strategy for the next 10 months? If you're someone who's just starting, step 1 is going to be visiting the CLAT consortium website. Step 2 is going to be looking at the previous year question paper of CLAT, let's assume 2025. Step 3 is going to be writing down what are the sections you could understand and the sections you didn't understand. Step 4 could be making a copy for all the 5 subjects. Step 5 would be starting with the all five sections preparation. Let's assume you start with legal reasoning. So you can just watch a class tomorrow, Introduction to Legal Reasoning. I'll take a YouTube class in a while, like in a couple of weeks, Introduction to Legal Reasoning. You can watch that to understand what is legal reasoning. And then step 6, so on that particular day you could have legal reasoning and English. Maybe practice 2 passage based questions from GMAT club. Okay. Step 6 would be making your to-do list every day. Every day make sure you read the newspaper, even if you don't make notes. Even if you don't write down the notes from newspaper anywhere, that is okay, but it should be time bound. Within 1 year you have to read the newspaper. You can watch some YT analysis to understand what was the news about, and this way you will develop. And then 2 weeks later, give your first mock and see how much did you score, which sections you scored lowest, which sections you have to work upon more, and that way our preparation should go on. So that is it. Nikunj, you can, but right now you have the leverage of time. So you could just give 1-2 hours to your preparation and it'll be great. Garima, that is your call. Passage understanding में संस्कृति तो read more reading. Every time you have to read more and more and more as much as possible. And that will improve your reading speed and understanding of passage as well. So alright guys, hope the session was helpful. If any of you wish to prepare with us, we have our app. You can download it, 12 minutes to CLAT, and you can enroll in the UDAAN Plus course for CLAT and AILET 2026. You can use my code KRITI for additional discount on the course. And thank you so much. Hope the session was helpful, and I will see you in the classes.